All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Paradox of Sports, episode 42.
The meaning of life.
The meaning of life. Is that what we're calling this episode?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So, the meaning of life, we're down to the final four. We'll get to that here in a little bit. You are doing well in your bracket. I heard one of them you're winning. Is that correct?
Yes, I am in first place in my thing by 8 points, and I have 3 of the 4 teams I predicted going to the Final Four. The only team I didn't predict was UCLA.
Yeah, nobody did. Is that 1 point per win?
I don't know.
Okay, so 8 points up is
but if UCLA beats Gonzaga or Baylor, or if Baylor wins the whole thing, I think I should win like the $280.
Nice. That'll be nice.
Yeah, I'm going to do. I already know what I'm going to spend it on. I'm going to give $20 to Dad.
Very nice.
For,
That's very nice of you.
An entry fee, and then I'm going to spend like $60 on pre-ordering MLB The Show 21, and then I have $200 to do whatever I want to do.
Nice. You wouldn't no interest in saving some of that? Does money burn a hole in your pocket real bad? Like when you get it, you got to spend it?
It depends if there's anything that does seem like that
must have.
Yeah.
Okay. What system do you play on?
PS4.
Okay, I don't know. I think I have a PS3. I don't know.
We need to get you back into the gaming world.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it'd be cool if I had a PS4 and you and I could play baseball against each other.
Yeah.
Like that'd be another thing we could do for to create some content, have something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we could. I'm thinking of ideas. Like,
I would want to. If I was going to play you in baseball, you'd have to play me in hockey. Like we'd have to get the hockey game.
Yeah, we could get NHL 21, and then I could download the other 2 games I want to download is NHL 21, yeah, and Overwatch. So I want to become that one guy that's working on the pro.
Nice.
That's working on becoming a pro. Because I am pretty good at Madden. I'm like not the best. Because in some of my leagues, people are just sweats.
I don't like. I had never, and this goes back to even to when your dad and I were in college, and they'd get on the video game kicks, which your dad never was much of a video game guy with me either. We were kind of I wouldn't say we were anti-gamers. We just didn't game that much. I liked college football, which I think they're finally bringing back. I think EA Sports or whatever is coming back with the NCAA football, but I just never liked Madden. I thought college football was more fun to play.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe I was crazy.
It could become. I actually do want to get into the NCAA world. Like all of the new games, like if they have like an experience with going through college as a player.
Yes. Yeah, building like your dynasty or whatever.
Yeah.
Nice, and doing something like that. What other video games do you play? Like, what do you?
Yeah.
Are there wrestling video games? I assume there are.
Yeah, but this year's wrestling game, WWE 2K, it didn't come out because of COVID.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so they're still.
I still have like 4 different WWE games, and I also play like Rocket League, which is basically soccer with cars, and then Apex Legends, which is basically kind of like Fortnite, but you're able to, but it's like more realistic.
Okay. Yeah, I never got into those.
The Battle Royale.
I can't even remember the games, the like zombie shooting games that my brother would play.
I also play Call of Duty Cold War. They have like they have zombies mode where you can shoot zombies.
Gotcha.
I like that.
What was the sports schedule like this week?
Baseball on Monday, baseball on Wednesday.
When do you guys have games? I ask you this every
Our
week.
first game is next Saturday, a week from Saturday.
Oh, nice. That'll be cool. Whatever happened? You guys had a vote last night at the school board. Are you going back to school full time or what's going on there?
Starting April 19th, we get to go back 4 days a week.
Oh, you can't beat that. So Monday through Thursday?
Yes.
And then you're off Friday? Like, do you have to do school on Friday or are you just off?
No, there was this teacher strike back in like 2018.
Okay.
And now now it used to be 5 days a week. Now it's only 4 days a week.
Oh, so you only go to school 4 days a week?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Enjoy that while you can. That 4 day school, for anything, 4 10s, 4 work days, 4 school days a week, substantially more proficient. You get a lot more done. So it's just not everyone feels that way. But
yeah, also tomorrow's April Fool's, but I don't know what I'm going to do for April Fool's.
I'm not going to believe or listen to anything anybody says tomorrow at all. So I trust no one tomorrow.
Okay. I'm probably going to do the thing where I am not going to tell you. Hold up. I'm just going to make sure that everything's Oh, wait, no, because my dad would watch it and he'd know.
Yeah, we don't want to spill anything. We'll discuss next week what we did. That'll be the plan.
Yeah.
So,
but I think I know what I'm gonna do if it works.
Just don't get in trouble. Don't push it too far. You can push it too far. Don't do that.
I'm not gonna push it too far.
Okay.
All I need is a ladder.
Uh-oh.
And a bucket.
No. I'm going to strongly advise against you doing whatever you would need to have a ladder and a bucket. First of all, you'll end up falling and breaking your arm and missing baseball, which we already had a situation with Holly's daughter, which that sucks, broke her finger. So now she's not going to get to play softball. So that was hard. That sucks anytime you see a kid get hurt and have to miss some of their season of their sport, especially after the crap you guys have just put up with for the last year down there and being locked up basically in your houses and not getting to do anything fun. You finally get your summer back. You get that. I feel terrible for her. That sucks. So, okay.
All right, let's get to the interview.
Okay. If you want, go ahead. Tell the folks who we got.
All right. Introducing Boise State University linebacker, son of Dan DeRose. Please welcome Bruno DeRose. I'm here with Kevin and with former Pueblo East grad, 2-time state champ, Boise State Bronco. Give it up for Bruno DeRose.
What's up, Jack? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming. All right. What got you into football?
Football, man. I mean, my family's a pretty big football family, so I've kind of done it forever. I remember being quite young. In the basement, we had like a tackling pad and we'd set it up and I'd run around the couch and tackle it. So I guess you could say I've kind of been doing football my whole life. My uncles, my dad, everyone was really big into it. So kind of forever. It's hard to pinpoint a start on that one.
Did you play other sports growing up?
Yeah, I did all the sports and I recommend that for kids. I think it's great to play all kinds of sports. You have all kinds of buddies, but I played basketball, track, baseball, and I swam. I was a pretty competitive swimmer until I was like 10. So that was made for some interesting summers.
What do you remember? Like, what is your earliest of all your sports? Looking back, what is your earliest sports, regardless of the sport? What was your earliest, like, competitive sports memory?
Oh, it's for sure swimming. Because I probably started when I was like 5, and my sister was a big time swimmer, and she's 5 years older than me. So I used to go to all the meets with her, and all across Colorado. So I remember I hated it though. I hated swimming, but I was kind of good at it for my age. I was really little, but I remember waking up and going to Mineral Palace at like 5:30 in the morning for swim practice, and I didn't like it because I was a little kid. But that's definitely the earliest memory of sports for me is when I was a swimmer.
Before we get too far away from it too, you mentioned the importance of kids and all the sports across the spectrums. I'm sure you've seen as your career progressed to where it is, there's kind of an emphasis that you see kids that are one sport athletes and whatnot. Why do you feel that whole broad spectrum of sports is so important?
Right. Well, like on a development aspect, there's a lot of things that it does for you movement wise, which I'll talk about. But I just think too, as a kid, that's one of the best things is just playing all these sports and having fun and, always having a different practice and time of the year. And you don't get burnt out. Like if you play one sport all year round, you might get burnt out by the time you're, into middle or high school. But if you play all the sports, you have different friend groups from all the sports and you have different skill sets, but you're also just having fun all year round and you're doing something new with the seasons. I think that's one of the best parts about it. And then, it just teaches your body to, do different things and move in different ways. Because if all you ever did was play baseball, you'd be, good at baseball stuff, but maybe you wouldn't be great at football movements or basketball movements. And so I think it's really good at a young age to kind of train your body to be able to do a diverse amount of movements and all those different things. On top of, I just think it's fun to be a kid and have fun with all the different aspects of sports.
Regularly, I play football, baseball, swimming, and golf. And then I was gonna play basketball this year for my school, but the season got canceled due to COVID, so I couldn't play this year.
Yeah, that's a huge bummer. That would be total bummer if I was, younger kid and my seasons got canceled. But golf is something I want to get better at because you can do golf forever, but I'm not very good at golf.
That's Jack. Where have you heard that before? We've talked about that. I went through it with my daughters, and I wish when I was younger, golf, it just wasn't cool. Like it didn't seem like a cool thing to do. And now, there's guys, I'm 41 and there's nothing cooler than the guys my age that can go out and shoot par. Like, I think that'd be fun as hell to do. And I'm not even close to that. So I wish I'd have taken the time if I had the opportunity to have learned golf as a boy. Cause like you said, you can play it the rest of your life.
Yeah. And it's like a conversation point. Then when you're older, like you can go and if you're a salesman, you can maybe win some sales on the golf course. You don't have to be in the office all day if you're good enough.
Yeah, like it's almost an acceptable work practice.
Right.
Or
exactly.
I'm sure it even spills over into recruiting or whatever with donors and stuff like that from the school, like at the college level. I'm sure you're going out and doing stuff even then at the golf course where, that's something you're going to do the rest of your life.
Yeah, there's always a annual golf tournament for high school, college, every level I've been at, there's always the annual golf tournament. So that'd be something I need to work on a little bit moving forward.
Oh, hold up. I accidentally clicked out. You went to Pueblo East High School, where you were part of back-to-back state championships in football, along with some other individual honors. Talk about your high school experience.
High school was a blast. Went into East. I don't think we hadn't been to many playoff games by the time I got to high school. I don't know if we've been to any since like the early 2000s. But then I went to the playoffs. We made it to the semis my freshman year. We got beat pretty bad in the semifinals by Rifle, who was really good that year. Then my sophomore year, we went to the quarterfinals, and then junior year, we won it. But so it's just kind of cool to be able to go into a place that you cheer on your whole life, like East, and be able to kind of, win a lot of games just because you're part of a really good teams and a lot of fun. But I think that's the best part is just, it's the buddies that you've grown up forever. And then you guys, imagine yourselves playing at Dutch Clark on Friday nights. And then when you're doing it, it's a lot of fun. So I love my time at East. I love my experience with Pueblo high school sports. I think it's, some of the greatest high school sports out there just because the way it's designed. But with that, and then basketball team won state my sophomore year, and I was able to be a part of that, a very minor role. But that was fun. And then, just couple track stuff, just the tournaments and stuff for track are always fun, just traveling with friends. And so I think all aspects of the sports and doing all different kinds of sports again is really fun. And I loved all that parts of my time at East.
Now, as you've went up, you've had the opportunity, just there in Colorado and then Mountain West, you've played in a lot of different stadiums. Being Jack's dad and I from Southeast Colorado, I was not very cultured on Pueblo football until I got to college. And the first Bell game and then Cannon game experience I got, it was breathtaking to be a part of that.
Right.
You mentioned Dutch Clark. Even through your college experience, where does Dutch Clark, or kind of explain to people what a big game at Dutch Clark Stadium was like?
I swear there's nothing louder than the Cannon
And that's what I've tried to tell people is it might only be even if it's 12,000 or 15,000 or whatever it was so loud. I don't know if it's how it was built, where it sat, it was insane. It was insane to have an atmosphere like that for high school football.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it's something that, growing up, you go into the game where you kind of start to think it's normal. And then you talk to these kids from other schools and it's not, it's one of the most special things I think I've seen at the high school level, and just how rooted Pueblo is in the culture of the schools. And, the coolest part about Dutch is it's so divided, like side, there's a side stand, so there's no middle part. And so you being a player on the field and there's a touchdown, it's like all the noise is going to come from one side, which I think is one of the coolest things ever, which you don't get at a college stadium because like fans are always sprinkled throughout.
Yeah, so you either sit on one side or the other. Hell, you only come in through gates on one side or the other, right? Like, don't you come in from the sides? Like, it's not.
I haven't been on the South Central side like ever. Because even when we go watch the Bell game, you don't sit on that side because that's not your side. Yep. So I know the East Centennial side real well, but not the other side.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, but I would say even stadiums, I don't know if it's because I was younger and had less experience, but I've never been a part of a game that was louder than the Cannon games.
After high school, you made the decision to attend Boise State, where you were a preferred walk-on. First of all, why did you make the decision to go to Boise State? And second of all, what is a preferred walk-on?
Okay, so first of all, I went to Boise State because I got the preferred walk-on, which I'll get into a little bit more, but I wanted to, try my shot at the Division I level. And I really thought I had a good opportunity to do really well there. And Boise State was a program that, I had known of growing up because of the big games they'd won, and just because it's a really elite program in football. And so I just liked everything about them. And I thought their culture and everything that they promoted really suited my personality and my play style and just everything that I was about, with hard work and blue collar and kind of nitty gritty type football players. And so I really liked that aspect of it. And so I went as a preferred walk-on, which means you don't have a scholarship, but you have a roster spot. So basically you're recruited, but you don't get any money. And so you go on the team and, like give you a locker and all the same stuff. It's not like in the movies where you go to a tryout, like a walk-ons tryout, and, you do that. Like I got recruited out of high school, like typical of other kids, but there's no money involved. And you're not a scholarship player. So you get treated a little differently at the start. But yeah, I went as a preferred walk-on, and that's basically how that process works. I knew a coach at Boise State through some connections from the coaches at CSU Pueblo. And so that's how I was able to kind of get in the door.
Were there any other schools you were interested in or interested in you?
Yeah, so CSU Pueblo, I had interest from, and Montana. I had also a preferred walk-on from Montana, and I went and took a visit there. Their stadium is really cool too. So that was my top three for sure, with Boise, Montana, and CSU Pueblo.
Now, did you go to a Grizz game?
No, I went on my visit in the spring, but I heard that stadium's like crazy loud too.
Yeah, so there's one of my favorite podcast kind of platforms with the Barstool stuff with Willie Colon. They went out there from Hofstra for a playoff game, and they have the bear that rides the Harley. And he said that was the damnedest thing he'd ever been a part of. They're getting ready to come out of the tunnel, and here's this guy in a mascot on a Harley revving it up in
That's
the
awesome.
tunnel. And that's what he said, that he couldn't figure out or understand why anybody would want to go to college in Montana until he experienced that atmosphere there. And he says he he understood it.
Yeah, and they say that's one of the loudest stadiums in the country, like pro or college, just the way it's built and it's right in, like the mountains are right there. So it was a really cool campus and venue. It was really awesome.
Now I got to ask too, there had to have been a little, I'm not going to say pressure, but is it your grandparents' name that's on the Thunder Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay. So at some point there has to be a conversation there of staying in Pueblo or going somewhere else. Was the main allure the D1 opportunity?
That was a big thing. And then another part of it was, partly because my last name is on the stadium. So I wanted to get away and, earn my stripes on my own accord.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my eyes. Yeah. So that was a big thing for me. I wanted to go and, kind of, be Bruno DeRose on my own basis for, and I'm really glad I did. I think it was awesome, but yeah, that
and
definitely
there's a lot
had a part
to be
of it.
said. There's a lot to be said too for take football out of the equation, just the life cycle of leaving for college, like the experience of not being close to home, having to figure some things out on your own. And, that has to play into it even more than maybe the sports aspect sometimes.
Yeah. And that probably didn't play into it as much as it should have when I was making the decision, but I'm so happy because I've learned so much and matured and so much that ways that I probably wouldn't have if I stayed at home, you just learn so many things that you take for granted,
Absolutely.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some stuff I'm going to have to figure this out on my own right now.
Yep. Yeah. Like what's a dryer sheet? You don't know that.
Oh, yep. I hear you.
Yeah.
After redshirting your freshman year, you appeared in 13 games, mostly on special teams. What was it like making your college football debut?
It was a great time. Our first game was against Troy in the middle of the day, season opener. It was that was an awesome game. It was a typical college football, sunny day. It was real warm out, and that was a lot of fun. And then that whole season was really fun. We went and won the conference and won the Vegas Bowl against Oregon. So that was a great season, as great of a debut as I could ask for, but it's different. It's kind of you're in college football for a whole year practicing and redshirting and doing all that stuff. But that first game is a different form of nerves for sure.
As a sophomore, you appeared in 13 games, including making one start. How special of a moment was it to start your first ever college game?
So that's a really funny story. So I actually wasn't supposed to start that game. I was I rotated in a lot on third downs and things like that, but it was the first play of the game, obviously, and the starter couldn't find his helmet or his helmet broke or something like in warmups. And so we were out there with I played Will linebacker, and there's no Will on the field. And this is the conference championship, by the way. This is the last game of the year. And there's no one can find this kid. And so I just run out there. I run one play. I come out, but I got to start. So if you want to consider it a start, I'm taking it on the stat sheet, but it's not a real start.
Yeah, dude, it's on the books. Like statistically, that's the way it's recorded.
Yeah, but that's not a lot of people know that. That's a funny story, though.
As a junior, you played in every game and doubled the number of tackles you made from the year before. As an upperclassman, how much did you learn about the game of football and being a leader?
Great question. You learn a lot. And it's interesting because I still had a great senior class in front of me, but you do step up just being an upperclassman. And you learn a lot about, I'd say I knew as much about football my sophomore year as I did my junior year. You obviously learn a good amount, but you learn a lot more about people and how to handle people and talk to people and coaches, because I also went through a coaching change. So you see a lot of different parts of the game that are, not as much X's and O's. So that's what I learned the most that year. And, just learning to battle through adversity and all kinds of things, just as your college career goes on and you just go through a lot of experiences that you probably weren't expecting, but they're so awesome and you learn so many things. So I learned a lot about football. Yeah, obviously, because, that's how the college program works and you're in meetings so much. But I would say I learned more about life and how to deal with people in adversity.
So that's kind of the spot in your football career where you never really stopped learning the X's and O's, but then it became more about maybe personnel management, relationship management, game management. Like there comes a time where I assume maybe the game slows down, and then it's you're comfortable with your X's and O's, and now you're tuning on relationships with guys and kind of knowing where people are going to be and just the relationship side of things.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see how the X's and O's always evolves too. Like your freshman year, you're just like, oh, like, what do I do on this call? Like, what's my job? And then you go from, your job so well, you don't have to think about that. You can just look at what the offense is doing. And at that point, you're just reacting. So it's funny how that evolves. And you go from just, trying to know what you're doing to you're knowing what the offense is doing. And then you're knowing situations and all this different kinds of stuff. It's a cool evolution process as a player to see. But then, like you said, yeah, you get less consumed where you're sitting at, in fall camp, you're sitting at dinner, instead of thinking about the playbook, you're thinking, oh, how do I go up to this incoming freshman and, make his day better? Or, how do I like speak life over this guy type thing? Because as an old upperclassman, that's what people did to me. And that was one of the most important things is when you're a freshman, you're overwhelmed and everything is going crazy, and upperclassman that you really respect comes up to you and, he could say one thing to you and it turns your whole day around. And so that's kind of what, like you said, I learned that aspect of things a little bit more moving forward. As I got the X's and O's down, I was able to focus more on the relationships and things like that.
And 2020 was your senior year with only 7 games taking place due to COVID-19. What was the last season like with all the uncertainty of even being able to play football?
Oh, man, 100% bummer in all honesty, no sugarcoating it. It was a bummer. No fans was a total buzzkill at times. Yeah, and the fact that you only play 7 games was that's huge too, because at that point you only have so many football games left in your tank, so you're missing out on 5 to 6 or 7 possibly. So yeah, no sugarcoating it. It was a bummer. The testing, we got tested 3 times a week. I got COVID in late November, so I missed 2 games because of COVID, and those 2 games actually ended up getting canceled. So the team as a whole missed 2 games, but I would have missed those anyways. And yeah, the whole bit was kind of a tough way to end, but it is what it is.
So I've asked several of the guests when it got weird here is damn near exactly a year ago when so my wife helps at the nursery at the church Wednesday nights. She leaves. I'm sitting on the couch on the phone. That's the night they canceled the NBA games. And everything, there was like a 2-hour span. It got weird. So when she came home, I told her stuff changed. Like I'm in Northeast Wyoming, so we're a little disconnected from the rest of the world. So we're getting stuff, mainly off of Twitter. When all that was happening there last March or whatever, where were you at? And did you know at the time, like, were you texting coaches, buddies and everything? And did you guys realize just how much that was going to change the next year of your life?
Oh man, I don't think anyone foresaw how much would be affected, but I remember we had our first full padded practice of spring ball was supposed to be the next day, and we ended up canceling it just because different reasons, but because we didn't feel comfortable, going out and practicing with the given circumstances. And we had a leadership meeting with the team, and we were sitting in the team room when we all found out. And I think it was in that meeting that like March Madness got canceled. So I remember we were all sitting there and we were kind of talking like, okay, like, and because spring break was about to come up, so that was a big deal because people would be traveling. And so we were trying to get, talking like, should we get everyone to stay here for spring break and just push through and keep practicing, or what are we going to do about these practices? And it came out like pretty much every college in the country sent everyone home. And, 1 week of being home turned into 3 months. And so I don't think any of us in that meeting when we were talking about like possible solutions for what we were going to do, because we were missing a single practice, I don't think any of us foresaw that we'd be, missing games the next season, which is crazy.
Forgot to mention that in between your playing career, you already completed your bachelor's degree and currently going after your master's degree. How were you able to handle all the responsibilities?
School, school becomes almost an outlet in a way when you're playing college football, because it's so different, and you're going to class is kind of fun because you get to see like regular, people and students. And so I actually really like the whole school part of things. So for me, that wasn't that bad. And then, my master's was a lot more demanding, and I'm finishing that up this spring. But at that point, it just kind of becomes, I had a chip on my shoulder, like, hey man, like how many kids have gotten their masters while playing football? And so at that point, the competitor in me kind of came out, and I wanted to do it because of that reason, but also just because school was an outlet of a sense.
What do you do in your free time now?
Free time? Oh man, I'm currently launching a business here in Boise, a landscaping business. So that's taken up a lot of free time. Video game, still a kid at heart. Fishing. There's a great river, and the Boise River runs right through town. So we do a lot of stuff there in the summer, and a lot of outdoor stuff like that, hanging out with buddies.
So I have a buddy that his company, he predominantly spends a lot of his time between Tulsa, Houston, Denver, and Boise. And he told me Boise is like sneaky, the coolest place you can be. So can you attest to that? Like he told me, he's like, you'd be shocked about how much fun, how beautiful, how cool the people are. Like he just said the vibe in Boise, it's a cool spot to be.
Boise, yeah, it really is. It's like under the radar, coolest place ever, because it's in a cool part of the country where you can get to a lot of places, but also it's just it's right at the base of some foothills. We have some mountains, and we got a river, and again in the summer it's light out to like 10 p.m. So there's always stuff to do, and there's people moving in from all over. So it's a cool like melting pot diversity type place, and then plus we have a gigantic football program and university right in the middle of it. So that's another big aspect. And I think it's a really cool town, and I don't think it'll be under the radar for much longer.
When you talked about the football program right there, do you think the fandom, the success, I think it would be there regardless, but with the fandom and the support, there's not really a pro team around. So the folks, that's what you got right there. So is that kind of cool the Boise State football is the big show in town.
Right. In the whole state, really. I mean, we're the only D1 football team now, because University of Idaho is FCS. So, we're the only Division I FBS team right now. And so, it is a huge deal. You can go anywhere in the state, and, people will be Boise State fans. And so that's cool. There's not many states in the country where that's like that, with no pro teams and no other real
Wyoming,
Montana's kind of right there with
Yep.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I know Jack's got one last question, but I got one more last one. This is kind of just a stupid question. I'm a foodie. When my wife and I travel and go to different stupid stuff, we like to find like badass restaurants and whatnot off the beaten path. Of all the places you've traveled through the Mountain West or whatnot, what's your favorite dining spot when you're on the road? Like, is there anywhere you have found that was your favorite meal somewhere you went?
Oh man, it's tough because we don't get to go around a lot when we go to games, and they have all of our meals for us. Oh, it's tough. I remember like the foodie story I have is we went to Dallas for my bowl game my sophomore year, and it's the bowl game that got canceled because of the lightning storm.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But I think we had barbecue every single meal for a week.
Yep, that happens down there.
Yeah, so I was like so sick of barbecue, and that's like one of the bowl games are one of the only times when you kind of have some freedom where you can go and get food. I remember it was just all barbecue. That'd be one of the foodie things. I don't know if that's even a positive. That's not really a recommendation for you. Let me think. And
let me put this back on you then. We'll see if we can start a fight there.
Okay.
We're in Pueblo. Okay. Where are you going to go get a slopper at? Where are you going to get your slopper?
Coors every time.
Okay. There it is. All right, Jack.
That's you too?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I can tell you some Coors stories about Jack's dad and I, but I can't tell you when Jack's on here. So
right.
Yeah. So
I'll get a late night call.
Yeah. It's a couple late night. Yeah. So, all right, Jack, what's your last one?
I actually have a few more questions. So first of all, you mentioned video games. First off, what console do you play on?
I'm PS4 right now. I haven't made the upgrade yet, but I'm a PlayStation guy.
I play on PS4 as well.
Nice. Ooh, we'll have to get together maybe.
Yeah. And then my final question is, what was the greatest moment of your career?
Cool, man. Those high school state championships are hard to beat, man. Those are really cool. You know, playing a high school championship in your home stadium in Pueblo, Colorado, and it's the first time East had been to one, and the first time we done it back to back, and I'd say those are two of the hardest moments to beat, for sure. Yeah, the first one even more so because it's this, it's more magical because you never done it before, and you have no idea what it's going to be like. And that game was really close because my senior year we won by a good amount, so it wasn't as climatic when we won. But I remember, my junior year, remember the game was real tight, and we did a little tight end pass on the goal line that I caught, and that, like, I grabbed the ball and I looked at the stands and everyone was going crazy. And that probably to this day is one of the coolest moments for me in my sports career.
Okay.
Cool, man. We appreciate you taking some time to chat with us. So
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That was cool. Hopefully once the world's all letting us go places and stuff, maybe we can run into you in Pueblo sometime, or
Yeah, I'd love that.
I'm not very far from Boise, so like I said,
if you ever make it up to Idaho,
dude, I will for sure. I've been to the other side, so we've been to Idaho Falls, Pocatello, that side. I've just never crossed. I've never crossed to the other side, so
right.
I'll have to put it on the list and get over there sometime.
It's a great place, man. You got to go check it out. Jack's got to come for a game too. We could hook him up with some good spots.
Yeah, Jack. Once it's going, we got to get you. I assume a Boise State football game would be badass. So we got maybe go up there, watch them just pound the crap out of CSU or something. That would be fun.
Yeah, the games start at 8:30 usually, so they're really late. But
okay, well, I'll have to have a nap, Jack. I'll be honest. I'll have to nap. You'll be all right, Jack, but I'll have to sleep. Yeah, I'll have to nap. So right on, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, guys. It was a blast.
Yep, thank you. All right, we want to thank Bruno for taking some time. He busy guy up there in Boise, starting him a landscape business. I was looking, they're building some nice houses in Boise, so there's a lot of that is a pretty spot in the world. So they good for him. He's a cool kid, man. That's cool that he got out of Pueblo, because I can't imagine. Like, that's a hard decision to make, because if he stays there at CSU Pueblo, he's the badass of the bad. I mean, his name's on the stadium. You know what I mean? So that's awful cool that he gambled on himself a little bit and went out to Boise and was wildly successful. Going to come out with a great education, and just going to be a businessman. So that's very cool. He talked about the multi-sport athlete stuff again. Is that something you still enjoy? Like, do you enjoy playing across all the disciplines of sports?
Yeah, it's so that I don't get burnt out on one sport, and then I don't know how to play another sport.
So you enjoy still being the kid aspect of it, and hopping around and doing the fun stuff.
Yeah, because also today I had gym class and we were playing kickball. And I'm one of the few people who take it seriously. Like,
you're competitive. You're playing to win.
Yeah. And I'm implying baseball rules.
Yeah. Do you guys still play dodgeball, or is that out?
No, we still play dodgeball, but it's not called dodgeball anymore. It's called activity ball.
Oh, activity ball. Okay. That seems safer. Does anybody ever just get nailed in the nuts? Have you seen a good nuts shot in your dodgeball yet?
Yeah.
We had one. I
threw it.
Yeah, I was in 7th grade when we had some 8th graders, man. like the guy's older than me. Matt Haskell was one. Holy crap, he could throw. Like it just fit him and he could them little red balls. And you know how they make that ping sound when they hit something real hard. Like he was one. Holy cow, he could sling one of those balls.
Yeah, we use foam balls so that like gets hurt.
Oh yeah, so you don't put 80 psi in the little red rubber balls anymore?
No.
Oh, that's probably substantially safer. So that's probably some leaps in technology.
It still hurts when you get hit, especially if you have short sleeves on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about capture the flag? Is capture the flag? Do you still play capture the flag?
We haven't played it much, actually.
Okay.
I like capture the flag, but we haven't played it much.
Yeah. I like that one too.
And we use the same balls for dodgeball as we do capture the flag, as our flags.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we don't have any like actual flags.
So your game that you have in 2 weeks, not Saturday, but the next one, is this the stuff at Runyon then that you're doing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. I'm gonna have to talk to your old man. We got to figure out a way to live stream that game. So I'll do some talking with your dad. We got to figure out how to do that.
Bring stapler along with it. I like staplers. Yay.
That's technology that hasn't changed much since I was a kid.
No, it hasn't.
Just a staple. Just
It's
a stapler, man. Just a stapler.
The stapler is a stapler. And we like staplers. We like Kenny Stapler as well.
Final four this weekend. Zaga and UCLA. Who you got? Who do you want? Not who do you want or who do you need? Who do you feel in your heart?
Who do I feel in my heart?
And your brain is going to win.
That's I'm picking Gonzaga to win, but I'm rooting for UCLA because if UCLA beats Gonzaga, I pretty much win my thing for the tournament. But if they don't, it's still all right. We just need Baylor to win the national championship.
Completely acceptable.
Can't let Gonzaga win the national championship at all.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, buddy, but it will be a monumental task if somebody is to upset Gonzaga, because I am telling you, they are
clicking.
They might be the best college basketball team ever. And they're not the most athletic team, but my goodness, do they play? First and foremost, they play hard. Those guys do not take plays off. They are the most unselfish group. They set screens, they box out, they close out, they hustle. They don't fight. You don't see them look at each other glaringly or nothing. They are I will be shocked if somebody is to get them. But with that said, I do think Baylor is a more athletic team.
Oh, Baylor, yeah, by the way, also Gonzaga's never won a national championship.
I don't think they've made it to the national championship, have they? Haven't they got beat in the Final Four?
I don't know. I just know that they haven't won the.
Yeah, I know they've never won it. I don't know that they've ever made it. I want to say the last time they got to a Final Four, UCLA beat them. I might be making that up.
I bet you're.
Hold up.
Here, I'm just gonna get this paper down because I just found this and it's really gonna help me in the future.
Gonzaga for now. Right. Final Four. Here we go. Has Gonzaga ever made the Final Four? They have also appeared in all but one. Yeah. Oh.
What?
They did make it to the national championship game in 2016-17. Who beat them then? Yeah. So they've made one of them. 2017. Who beat them?
I have no clue.
Oh, maybe UCLA. UCLA might have beat. Where's my hair? Where's everything?
Yeah, where's your head?
No, it just says they. It doesn't say. It just says it culminates with them. Yeah. And I think for falling to Brigham Young, the Zags made the tournament in the 1 seed, advanced to the South. Bounce. Oh my God. Let's just go back then. We're going to have to go back to the Google clock, the Google machine. 2017. So this is their second Final Four, 2017 NCAA basketball championship. Oh, North Carolina beat them 71-65. So cool. Okay. Well, that's what we got. Thank you again for Bruno joining us. He's another one, man. When I get to Pueblo, if we can run into some of these cool cats, we'll have to get together and meet them in person. Go to Gray's, get a slopper, go golf, go do some fun stuff. So hopefully by football season, man, we can come down there and go to a Thunderwolves football game together. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Yep.
So
also, please say goodbye to Kenny Stapler instead of Stapler. Kenny Stapler.
Okay, so we're getting rid of him.
Or no, we're not saying goodbye, just for the episode.
Oh, just
we're
for the
definitely
episode.
gonna bring him back.
Okay, for a reoccurring prop.
Yes, this is gonna be the prop that can hopefully get us the big time. This stapler probably will determine the fate of this channel.
Wow, that's huge. Okay.
Please don't screw this up, Kenny Stapler.
Sweet. Go ahead and get us out of here.
I am. That's it for this week's edition of the Paradox of Sports Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to comment down below if you name inanimate objects like I do, Kenny Stapler. See you guys next week on the Paradox Sports Podcast.